Good morning. Hello. How are you on this beautiful Monday morning? Good morning, Twitch. And welcome to hopefully a long list of episodes of podcasts that I try to do in the morning. Um, I wanted to do this for a while, and I figured why not now when I have the perfect excuse to do it? Considering, like, you know, uh, considering the following that, like, it is, like, I only have, like, 3 hours in the morning to do anything, you know? So, I figure it's not really enough time to make any progress in a video game. And I figure, I still want to put some stuff out there. So, why not at least try out doing a podcast? The podcast isn't really going to be talking about anything in particular. Like, it's not going to be anything specific over the course of episodes. But I'll have topics picked out and stuff, and it'll go from anywhere from an hour to, maybe till, for 3 hours. Who knows? Just kind of depends on what I'm feeling, what I'm talking about, and all that stuff. And feel free to ask questions too. I'll definitely read your questions and answer them to the best of my ability within reason. I think this could end up being... It could. The potential is there to end up... there's a lot of potential in this. To be something that I want it to be. Mainly, the reason why I've always wanted a podcast as well is just because, like, it's, like, it I've always wanted one because it's like I like talking to you guys. I like hanging out with you guys. Especially like through Twitch. Like, I don't know if I do one through YouTube because I like just recording one and then post it. Because I like the live interaction from Twitch. So basically what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to take this and just post it to YouTube from there. And that's why I have chat open, is so people can see when they're watching the videos, they can at least see when people ask questions, and then I'll read them if they have any, or any comments that they're contributing. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to change how I read comments. I'm going to actually, like, say out the name and be like, Shooting Galaga writes or blah blah blah. I gotta get used to that. And then, or at least just say, like, the person's name so that people watching on YouTube will understand, like, I'm not just pulling stuff out of my ass. So, I think, like, for today, it was just more of, like, I'm just gonna, like, explain, like, why I'm doing this, and, like, how everything is going. It's more of, like, tomorrow who knows? Just start rambling and we might get into some deep topics. And like, that's the thing, is, like, topics on this are, they could be anything. Introduction day. Yeah, exactly. Shooting says introduction day. Like, it's going to be getting used to, because I've done a few podcasts on my channel, but they were a while ago, and I had someone with me, so I had Kay with me. So, who knows if, and maybe I'll have people on in the morning, And I'm not expecting this to be like the next big like podcast channel. Like there's podcasts I watch. I'm not expecting them to be like that. But even if I could get like a few people listening on their car ride in the morning, or eating breakfast, or I guess these days working from home, you know, I think that would be a victory. So, yeah, as far as like topics go, I think like my main topics are just gonna be like stuff of like pertaining to games and Twitch. But it could be anything really. Like we could get deep into like some existential existential, deep conversations, or like conspiracy theories, or whatever you want it to be. We could talk about sports. We could talk about, just anything really. Talk about pets, and so like whatever you guys want to talk about or want to hear me talk about, just let me know. I'll talk about it. I'm a very ranty guy. Like I like going on long tangents and just talking. And you can't really do that when you're face to face with someone, because then you're an asshole for just talking too long and ranting, and people, you could tell in their face that they want to leave the conversation because you talk too long. So this is a perfect way to let out any, conversations I've been holding on to through you guys, because then I could just keep talking. And then, like, if you want to leave, you can literally just leave, and I can just keep talking, because that's my whole job, is to keep talking to you guys. And whether or not you listen, that's completely up to your own volition. Shooting says, or in my case, I wake up at 5:30 and continue to wake up to starting stream, which was nice. Oh, nice. Perfect. I forget that you're like an hour behind me. But yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, with Twitch, is that this has people can be watching this from like all over the world, so who knows what they're doing. That's gonna be fun. At least I assume right now, so it's like 6 a.m. Well, actually 7 a.m. Central, and I have a friend who lives in Australia, and normally I would have to get up at this time to even catch her streaming. Her name is Caterpillar. And it's normally about like 8-ish around, so some people would be having lunch right now, in like the UK-ish, so, or it'd be dinner time in Australia. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Twitch. I guess it would be a better title for yeah, like I've been thinking about doing this for a while, cause like I might start like even on the days that I do. So like basically how this is gonna run is that my work schedule is that I work 12 to 5. And the only thing that changes is Monday, Tuesday, Friday 1 week, and then Wednesday, Thursday the week after, and so it just flip flops like that. And so on the days that I work 12 to 5, I'll be doing this. But even on the days that I don't do this, I think I'm gonna start like maybe an hour earlier. It won't be, or maybe like 15 to a half hour earlier than I normally do, and just talk with you guys. But it won't be a podcast episode. It'll just be talking to you, and then we get into the gaming. And then like my night episodes are still going to be gaming. So I just have a different outreach, working on two different things and see what works. Who knows, if the podcast works out, maybe I switch to that and game less, or if it's not working out, I just cut it out. I lose nothing from this, so I'll just try it out for a month or two and see how it goes, and if it's working, we can balance it both. If it's not, then something changes, and that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of being on Twitch. That's the whole beauty of being on Twitch, is that you can experiment, and especially when you have like a solid community like I do, you can experiment, and they'll be there and they can tell you like, hey, that's not, don't do that, or they can be like, hey, I like it, keep going. So, especially when I have really nothing to lose on this end, if this doesn't work, then I'll just switch to early morning video games. I'm totally fine with that. So, as far as like what I wanted to talk to today is like, I've always been a huge fan of podcasts. Like, I've always loved the idea of podcasts. Like, just taking some topics, talking about them, hearing other people's perspectives on things. Even if you don't agree with them, just hearing their ideas. Because, like, think of it this way. Like, if you hear someone else's idea, yeah, it may not change your idea on what you think about that topic, but at least it gives you a new perspective. And it's not and most of the time it's in a perspective that isn't getting yelled at you or screamed at you. Shooting says that has a positive outlook on failure, not failure. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's like one of the biggest sayings in my life that I like to. Failure is just something to look back on in a positive. Like if you look back on failure, it only leads to more success. Because like if you fail, then you can look back on it and be like, well, what did I do wrong, and fix it. If you look at failure and be like, well, I failed, I get all mopey about it, then nothing changes. You don't get better as a person and as a streamer, and you also become sad and upset. Or you can just say, well, okay, that didn't work. I mean, that's been my whole streaming career. It's like, well, shit, that didn't work. I'll try something else. And it's taken me till this point to actually like get some traction. So, inspiration, but yeah, exactly. Like, it's you want to, anything you do, you want to be able to look back on and be like, hey, even if it was successful, right? Like, you want to still look back on it and look at the things that you did wrong, even in success. And it's so obviously, especially in failure, you want to look back on it. But like, the greatest failures, sometimes the biggest catastrophic failures, are the people that had success and never thought of changing what they're doing or looking back and trying to improve themselves, and they just ride out the coattails, and then it leads to failure. So, people say never look back, and correct, never look back. Don't go back to the way things were. Never go. You should always be adapting, but you need to look back to adapt to the future. You need to look back and look at how things did, and how, or if they didn't go, fix that, and figure out how to improve on that, and then adapt for how the future is to come. So, and again, like, even if you, like, the biggest thing is, like, don't be afraid to fail. It's okay to fail. It's how you handle failure. That's basically what this all is. It's okay to fail. It's how you handle the failure that, whether it turns out okay or not. So, failure is just a learning lesson. And it's up to you to see that. It's up to you to value, take value instead of take, sadness from it. Like, so if this doesn't work, then I'm like, okay, well, what did work was this and this. What didn't work was this and this. So if I want to keep going, I need to fix that. You know, take it as a learning lesson. You know, say you, I don't know, like you just to take like a riding a bike, like, you know, when you're learning how to ride a bike for the first time without training wheels, you know, and your parents pushes you and you're starting to go, and then like you're wobbly and you're pedaling, or you're still wobbly, and then you like wobble a little too hard and you correct yourself a little too hard, and then you fall and you get a big old scrape on your knee. What do? You get back up and you learn, all right, don't do that shit again. And you go, and now instead of like overcorrecting too hard, you correct just enough, and you balance, and you go on. Although to be fair, when I was learning how to ride a bike, I failed, or I felt like at least six, like it took me like 2 days to get it. I had just like scabs and cuts like all over my knee, like lower leg knee area. So it's okay to feel. I know that feel. Yeah, I mean, shit. I still fall off bikes. Granted, I haven't rode a bike in a long time. It's been like 2 or 3 years since I've rode my bike. Mainly because I live in a very hilly city. I'm just not about that life of trying to bike uphill. And like it's also winter, like 9 months out of the year. So, but I mean, I do, but like, it's nice to do if you haven't done it, maybe. But like, also walking's nice. You can appreciate, like, I like walking because like you can appreciate nature more, and you know, go on like walks through the park and stuff, and just enjoy things more. I like walking because it also like it just gives you more time to think about things. And I like thinking about like how to. I would like, because when I go on walks, I like to think about just like and use that time to assess how things are going. You know, like how things are going on Twitch, how things are going in my life. What do I need to do? And also just get in a better mindset of like, you know, like, because it's human nature to get into a mindset of like, oh well, this, you know, I'm not doing great, things aren't working out, blah blah blah. Yeah, exactly, a reflection, exactly, shooting. It's a nice reflection walk, and like I do those every once in a while, because like I am one of those people who do like after a while get into like a just mindset of like, you know, it's just human nature. Everyone does it. Of just like, you know, just you get upset or you get frustrated or you're just tired, you know, and you just, you know, it's good to just take a break, go outside, enjoy the fresh air, realize everything's gonna be all right, come back in, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and get back to what you're doing. And if that doesn't work, because there's been times where that doesn't work, and those are the times when I start taking days off from Twitch. Those are the days where I just take a day off, turn everything on low, put some YouTube on, and just I turn my phone off, or at least off of like Twitter, off of social media. Maybe turn my Switch on, just play some games, you know, just hang out, don't talk to that many people, and just like, it's essentially taking the batteries out. Like I plugged myself into the wall, took my batteries out, put them on charge, kind of a thing, you know. That's basically what I'm doing. Shooting, that's why we need to take breaks some longer than others. Exactly, shooting, it depends on, you know, what kind of break you need, and it's okay to take those breaks. Like the biggest thing is like, The biggest thing to understand is that it's okay to take those breaks. It's okay to sit there and, say like, hey, exactly, shooting, you need to recharge your batteries. You need to, like it's a, if you, because like I took a break recently, and it was for that same reason. I was running myself into the ground. I was just not being the most healthy to myself. I took like even just like 3 to 4 days off. Didn't really communicate with anyone. Didn't really, like I was working on my car. I fixed my car. I went home, fixed my car, and just hung out. Went golfing a little bit. And again, I didn't even touch my computer. 4 days. Didn't go on my computer. I didn't go on my computer. I barely went on Twitter. I barely, talked with anyone. And I came back on Tuesday. And I was just peachy. Everything was fine. So don't be afraid to take those days off. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, I just can't. Everyone has those days where they're like, can't do it no more. If you push yourself beyond that point of, hey, I can't do it no more, and then you keep going, then that's when your quality goes down. If you're a streamer, or just in anything, your work ethic goes down. Your drive goes down. It's essentially like, you're overheating, or, your processor's overheating or whatever. I keep tying things into like computers, or electronics, so I'm just gonna keep going with that. Exactly, shooting correct. Your stress goes up, your anxiety goes up, everything's going up. All the bad things go up and all the good things go down, and you're just in this perpetual hell. So make sure to take breaks. Also, like, it's completely side and completely random, not tying into anything segue. I always love like these podcasts or like a lot of my friends when they do these podcasts or talks or whatever, they always have like, it's wake up and coffee, or like gaming coffee morning or whatever, and they all like drink their coffee. I drink like, this is not an ad, by the way. I just drink my G Fuel in the morning. That's my coffee. I don't like coffee. I'm not saying it's bad and like you shouldn't drink it. All I'm saying is, like, for me, I don't like the aftertaste of coffee. Like, even those like insanely like milky drinks, like the stuff that you get like Starbucks or the Minnesota equivalent of Caribou or Dunkin' Donuts, whatever, and you get those like coffees that are barely coffee, and it's just like creamer and milk and sugar. I could still taste that like 1% of coffee, and it's still just like meh. And I've been told that you have to like, I've been told it's like drinking beer, like you just have to like fight through it and then you'll enjoy coffee. But I don't know, the idea of like fighting through something to like something, because like I didn't really have to fight through drinking beer. I kind of enjoyed beer right away, and I was like, all right, I could mess with this. But like coffee, I don't know, it's just like the taste of, it's just such a bitter aftertaste. I'm just like, eh. Cause I don't like bitter stuff. I know some people do. I can mess with like sour. Sour stuff is alright, but not outright bitter. Same with like sweets. I like sweet stuff. I can't get to too sweet. Cause like some people like those like chocolate fudge cakes that are like 5 layers of chocolate, and they have like chocolate, a little bit of fudge, chocolate, frosting, chocolate, whipped chocolate, whipped cream that's chocolate, like all of it chocolate. And I'm just like, that's too much chocolate. Like, I literally take one bite, I'm like, oh, like my mouth is just like, it's too much sugar. Shooting, coffee isn't for everybody. For me, the most part, as long as it's has caffeine, I'll drink it for the most part. Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's kind of where I'm at, other than the coffee. Is like, I don't really have like a favorite energy drink as long as it gives me energy, because like very few things give me energy anymore. Because I drink so much energy. I drank a lot of energy drinks in like high school and stuff, that even till this point, and like through college as well, to the point where like none of them do anything for me. Like none of them work. I could drink like a Red Bull right now and I still sound like this like in a half hour later. Like, some people get energized on like Mountain Dew. I don't think I've been energized on Mountain Dew in like 8 years. I don't even know what. I just drink it to drink it at this point. That's like the only reason I drink it. That's just because I can. But like, also, this is proof in the pudding that like that the topics will be completely random, and I'll just talk, and I think that's. I've always liked those podcasts better. I've never liked the podcast. Like, there's some structure in there, like they talk, like some things they want to talk about and hit on, but for the most part, they just kind of talk. Like, one of my favorite podcasts is a local one in Minnesota. It's called the Power Trip Morning Show, and it's on our sports like radio channel. So they do talk about sports primarily, but for the most part, they just talk about like just random stuff. They just talk about like random stuff, and it's funny, and it's great, and it's nice. I like shows that don't have that much structure. Like, I don't want this to have that much structure. I don't want it to be so guided that it's just like, so I don't want it to be so guided that like, to the point of like, this is what we're talking about, and if we get off topic even for a second, the show's it's gone, man. Who cares? We'll just talk. If I don't get to a topic, I'll bring it up next week. It's fine. I just want something for you guys to listen to in the morning. Shooting, I don't know what it was, but it was heart-stopping in a can. It had a lot of caffeine. I think there's a coffee brand that's literally called like Extreme Coffee or like something, where it's like, for one scoop that you take out of that coffee and put in your like coffee maker, like on like the ground coffee like stuff, it's like one scoop is like 10 espresso shots worth in one like scoop. That's like a normal amount. That would be a normal amount for like 1 cup of coffee. So like 1 cup of coffee essentially would have like 10 espresso shots in it, or like that much worth an equivalent in caffeine. So like, this stuff was meant to like hit you hard, and you were meant to wake up. And like my old assistant manager would drink that stuff, and he would drink like a whole pot of that. Like, he literally wouldn't even like, he would make, we had a coffee pot maker like up front, and he would make 2 pots of coffee, one for himself and then one for the contractors in the morning. And so he'd leave 1 pot up front, and then he literally, like, on the first day I met him as an assistant manager, he had like, one of the things he brought in on his desk was a separate coffee pot. I just thought he didn't think we had a coffee pot I was like, oh no, yeah, we have a coffee pot. He's like, oh no, I know, that coffee pot's for contractors. This is my coffee pot. I don't pour coffee into cups. I just drink from the pot. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is not health. Okay. You know what? Hey, you do you, baby. You do you, baby bear. I'm just gonna stay over here and stay way away from you. So he'd drink like, cause like I think like a coffee pot has like what 12 cups of coffee in it. I think that's what it is. And he would drink all of it, and it's full with that like insane coffee. So he'd have like what 100, essentially like 120 espresso shots in that one thing, and the dude was still like not nearly like as pent up as you'd think of it. And he was just like, I think he like barely woke up. And I was like, that's maddening. And then as I was saying that's maddening, I'm like, that's probably the same for me in Red Bull. And like I can't get thing through the I can get through Red Bull and not have anything change really. Shooting, that is a benefit of not having a specific topic. It is something important happens needs to be said. You are not worried about trying to fit into this. Exactly. I don't want a schedule. Also shooting. Oh God, how's he? I don't know. He actually runs a podcast himself. Rules After the Arena podcast. Or Rules of the Arena podcast. He's also my sales manager at Sherwin-Williams. So he was my assistant in Stillwater, and now he's my and now he's a sales rep up here. So he's moving up. Good for him. He's a good guy. Honestly, not that many. I keep it to one a day, regardless of how I feel. Just because I know it's not great for me shooting. Like I try to keep the Red Bull consumption to one a day. As far as like sodas, it kind of depends. Sodas I could have one to either from anywhere from 0 to like 4 a day. It depends on the soda. It depends on, and I also like will say like if I have like I go to McDonald's that day, all their drinks are $1, so I get a large because it's what else is, why bother with a medium? I think even if you say a drink, they just give you a large. I don't even think they give you medium anymore, unless you specifically ask for it. I think they just give you large, and so I would equate that to more than just one pop. I think that's like 2, equivalent of drinking 2. So like that is, I do keep track of that as well. So I'd say anywhere between 0 to 4, because I've had days where I've had no pop, and so. But yeah, I try not to drink more. Like as far as like energy drinks go, if I had one that day, I try not to drink a second one, unless I'm really just feeling it. Unless I'm like, just even if it's a placebo effect, just give it to me. Just like, I've had those days at work where I'm just like, I don't care. I do not have the mental process to care until I get more energy in me. Yeah, again, even if it's placebo, just something. Shooting C, that is more acceptable. Still not good for you, but at least you're not going stop your heart drinking through. No, I used to in high school. I'd drink like granted it's not technically energy drinks, but I drink like 2 Mountain Dews a day, if not more. Or I drink like 2 Monsters a day. So yeah, actually in high school there was this kid who would sell pop and chips from his back. Like he would just all his backpack was pop and chips, and he would just sell it to kids. He made so much money, especially for me, because he would just have a case of Mountain Dew and I would just keep buying it from him. And so but the kid made so much money, and he never got in trouble for it either. Normally like schools put like a kibosh on that stuff, but he never got in trouble for it. At least I don't think he did. He never said if he did. So like one day, anyways, to continue with the story, one day, he asked me, "Hey, would you?" Because like he noticed I like energy so much. He's like, "Hey, I'll go get like like a big like those like at gas stations they have like those big 64-ounce like containers for drinks." So he went out and grabbed one, and he bought like a whole bunch of like energy drinks, like Red Bull, Monster, Mountain Dew, like you name them. He got it, and he like poured and mixed them all into this like 64-ounce thing, and he called it like Heartstopper. And like he mixed it, and it was just this weird neon color. Like it looked like gas, like it looked like neon gasoline. That's how I would describe it. And so I took it and I drank it, and I drank the whole thing. I drank all 60. I drank the whole thing. That was the first time in like a year and a half at that point that I had felt anything from energy drinks. But not only did I feel anything, I could feel my heart pounding. I could feel my heart just go like, oh my god, what did you do? That was wrong. Whatever you just did was wrong, but we're energized. We're ready to go. And so I was like, I did drink that in the morning. So I was like, for the first like 4 hours of the day, or like first 3-4 hours of school, I was just like, oh, I just, like sat up in my chair. I was like, just like, I was like a rocket ship ready to just go. I was just like, I gotta go, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go somewhere with all this energy. Oh my god, it was terrible. So I was like, after that, I was like, I'm never doing it again. 3 weeks later, I bought another one and drank it all again. And then I stopped. I only had 2. But it was probably too many, if I'm honest. Yeah, it was good times. Sure, my brother is trying to stop his heart. He drank 2 Ultra Red Monsters and 4 more sodas a day, like a total of 4 months. Oh my god, that's like, now I like understand that that's just way too much. That's way too much. Like way too much caffeine. And like but I mean, like, the thing is like, caffeine is a drug, whether it be like a significantly bad, it is a drug, it's addicting. And I was definitely addicted to caffeine. I think, I've weaned it down a little bit, but like, I don't know, something about energy drinks, man, I can't stop. Actually, there was a point in senior year of high school. I got challenged by a friend of mine. She told me, hey, for 1 month, no caffeine, no Mountain Dew, no energy drinks, no nothing. Like, you can't, like, just don't. Like, not even like root beer. Like, just no sugar, no caffeine. And I think like after like the first 2 weeks, I was actually going through like hardcore withdrawal. Like, I was sick. I was getting sick. I was puking. I was like my I was literally like, I would literally show up in the morning and just start like sit against the wall and just go, oh. And that's when I also realized like I drank way too much caffeine. That if I stop drinking it at any point, that this shit will happen. I need to at least cut it down. Yeah, that month sucked. Like, towards the end, it was alright. Like, it became alright. But then the second I was like, I could eat again, I drink it again, I did. I learned nothing from that other than to cut down. It's like the only thing I learned was that I need to cut down. Shooting, no matter how much I love caffeine and how it saves me when I don't get sleep, it's only used in moderation. No matter. Yeah, right. That's what I learned was moderation. So no, I don't need to drink like 3 monsters in a day to get up. It's like, no, that's stupid. I'll drink 1 monster, and if it wakes me up, it wakes me up. If it doesn't, all right, well, I had it, so. A lot of times now, it's also just like placebo effect. Like, all right, I drank it, I should feel something, so I just motivate myself to do more. Yeah, God, high school was 6 to 8 years ago for me. Like, senior year was 6 years ago for me. I graduated 6 years ago. Actually, 6 years is coming up. 6 years is coming up next month since I graduated. And that's kind of ridiculous to think about. I'm like 4 years from now, like in 4 years I'll be doing like a 10-year reunion thing at high school or whatever, if I am even going. I don't know if I will. Yeah, the high school was 6 years ago for me. That means I started high school 8 years ago, which is even crazier. Cause boy was I stupid those days. I'm still stupid now. Like, I'm not saying I'm smart by any means, but like, it is amazing to think like how much you change. Like, you look back and like you just see how much you change throughout the years. I mean, like, I think they say like every 5 years you change as a person. Like, personality wise, maybe not so much, but like at least like your like ideals and how you interact and like you every 5 years you evolve as a person. You know, and I totally believe that. Like, you know, especially early on, maybe not so much later in your life, like, but like especially you know, like especially early in your life, like right now where I'm at, like 5 years ago I was 19. I'm completely different from when I was at 19. So shooting, no matter, or for the most part, you have to wean off things. You just can't like only one day. Yeah, exactly. That's what happened to me. Kay can play. Whoa, jumped in on a deep talk. Hi, Kay. Welcome to the first episode of the Lumberyard. Yeah, I was again, like I said earlier, I'm gonna have no topics, so you came in on me talking talking about like age and like how crazy it is. Like, because I was saying like 6 years ago I graduated high school. That's crazy. But yeah, like, okay, I'm playing my Switch in my car waiting for work. You're already at work? Does your work open at like 8 or something? But like, so like age is like, so like, yeah, like I said, like 5 years ago I was 24. Or 5 years ago I was 19. I'm 24 now. 5 years ago I was 19. It's a completely different person. I was like, it was my first year of college. I didn't like, I realized I was not as much of a big shot as I thought I was leaving high school. And you know, that first year of college, I think for everyone is rough. Just because like you realize you're not as as hot as you when you thought you were when you leave high school, because it's like, oh, I just graduated high school, the world is open to me, the world is my oyster, and then you realize that you're nothing, you're not special, and you still got a long way to go to make yourself special. Okay, I had to drop Kyle off at 6:45. I work at 8:50. Oh, nice. So you're just chilling. You got 45 minutes. Stream will help you. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, I totally see, like, especially early on, like, every 5 years you're different person. Like you, the experiences you gain, like, when you're younger, are so much more, like, think of it this way, like, in a video game, when you get, like, like, it's way quicker to level up with the XP that you get than the same amount of knowledge. Like, level 1 to level 5, even, like, that same knowledge you would gain to XP to level up, doesn't do as much when you're in level 5 versus when you're at level 1. So, like, the more you level up, the more you age, the more wise you get. Even if you get the same amount of knowledge, it doesn't, your personality doesn't change as much. So, like, I think by the time you get to, like, 30, it really slows down on, like, how much you actually change as a person. But I think between the ages of, from born to 30, every 5 years, you're a completely different person. And then, nice hat. Thank you. How's it going, network? Good morning. So, like, from 0 to 30, every 5 years you change as a person. And then I'd say from, like, 30 to 60, every 10 years you change as a person. And then from, like, 60 onwards, you might not change as a person. I don't know anything beyond that point, but, like, that's how I view. Network, you're up early. Yeah, so I think I'm starting to, on the days that I work because, like, I work 12 to 5 most days. So, like, a lot of times on those days that are 12 to 5, I don't really have much time to, like, stream video games, because I think by the time I can't make that much progress in, like, 2 hours, depending on the game. So when I've decided that I'll just wake up with you guys and just talk to you for anywhere between an hour or two, and we'll just call it a podcast, and we'll talk about some stuff, talk about some weird stuff, talk about some not so important stuff, and just talk and hang out with you. Just hang out, no set schedule on what to talk about. Just, I'll have, like, a few topics that I want to talk about, but if we don't get to them, oh well. Just hanging out with you guys. Anchor has an easy podcast app. So what, like, all in one? Well, okay. Don't look at it now. Don't look at it now while you're streaming. That's okay. So, like, I could use it to upload. Okay. So, but yeah, like, I think as I will help you. Thanks, Deborah. Yeah, you do. Speaking of podcasts, if you do want good podcasting, the network has a great podcast that he runs. So you should definitely go check him out. He's part of the True Legion community. True Legion. Why did I say True Legion? That True Legion works. Doesn't work. I don't know. I'm tired. He's part of the Legion community. Go say hello to him. He's good people. Yeah, I got, like, I mixed the two communities that I'm part of together. Mixed True Gaming and Legion Gaming, and I was just like, blah, and there you go. So, these things happen. Either way, go check them out. That's the point of all of me just fumbling about with my words. Go go say hello. True Legion, exactly. I gotta get coffee. Right now is a good time to. Yeah, it is. It is a good time to stream. I thought you were part of. Well, Hobo Slayers is more of like a. It is a community, but it's more of like a stream team. I don't. The difference is very minute, but it's there. I guess it's 3. Maybe it is 3. Okay, I'm part of 3. I don't know. Nobody's online right now. I have like 10 matches. Yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted to. That's the other reason why I thought like. I follow like 400. He's part of 3, which is your community. Well, I wouldn't count myself as a. No, I would not count myself as a. Like gaming community. Like, I am a community, but I wouldn't count myself as like because the gaming community means like you have like you're bringing in other streamers and like but like I do have a community. It's I don't know. All right, well, you know what? Let's talk about this now. Our community is leveraged. Okay, well, that's very sweet of you. Thank you. So, I think there is differences. So there are differences, and so like, as a like a stream team or like a gaming team, like those are, you're just. It's like part of it. So it's like a network of like. That's most likely a small, like a bigger team, but like, you guys just either play the same games or you're all playing games or you all pick like something and you all kind of do that. A community like True Gaming is like, you can like, the True Gaming community is like a big overarching thing, and they have like a whole like all they do is just they take in streamers and help them grow. And then like in an individual Twitch community like mine, it's just like it's all your followers making a base, and whether they stream or not, like you're all getting along together. True Gaming is like a biker club. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. You know. So like, I mean, as far as like differences, they're not. It's not like night and day difference. It's just like minute differences between the two, between the 3. Yeah, more private. That's exactly how I would describe like a gaming like an individual community is. It's just like a private like a lodge kind of thing, like a. So. Oh, what's the one in that I like live close to one. I can't remember what its name is. Oh, got me stuck. Okay. What's the place? Sorry, I'm trying to think of something. There's a place that I live next to is it called like the Lions Gate? I don't remember. It's essentially like that. It's like a private lounge area. But as far as like Twitch goes, like, I mean, the biggest thing with like any community is just like, you know, like, as long as you like are welcoming, any community can be good, right? Like, because I was a part of a really bad members only, exactly. Like, well, yeah, pretty much, I guess. Although I assure you guys I will not do like follower only chat or like subscriber only chat. Like I don't. I see the value in it, but I'm not at the point where it will value me anything. But like I was part of a community on Twitch that I've since left, and I'm going to name it nameless. I don't want to call anyone out because it wasn't the dude's fault. Because I know the person who started it. But it became very like became very much like if you're not in like chat 24/7, if you're not lurking or like watching everyone's streams, like you had to be at every single person's streams. Like it was a job. Like you had to go out of your way to go to every person's stream, regardless of who it was, regardless if you liked the person. Yeah, that exactly, Shooting. That's the one I'm talking about. You had to be there regardless. And it's like, like even if you didn't like the personality, like you had to be there. And I just couldn't do it. I'm like, no, because like I'm a huge proprietor of like, I never expect anyone to be in my. I don't expect my close friends or my mods to be on my on my stream 24/7, let alone the rest of you. So so for someone else to expect me, like I'm busy. I work and when I come home, I'm like working on stream stuff. I'm working on like my D&D streams. I'm working on this. I'm gonna start working on this now and try to improve this. And then I have my regular like gaming stuff that I try to do, plus balancing being like friends with other people so I can at least get some social interaction, plus also making sure I'm spending enough time with my girlfriend so I'm not just caught up in this and ignoring her, because I love my girlfriend and I want her to be involved in this. So I don't got time. I can't watch. I try to get to people's streams. I try to watch whoever I can when I can. At the very least, I'll try to say hello and be like, "Hi, I like you. I'm sorry." And then like at the very, and so like to sit, if you expect like if you are following someone who expects you to watch all the time, expects you to give money all the time, like subscribe and stuff, or give bits or whatever, if they expect anything from you, leave. Just leave. Don't watch them. I'm dead serious. Deadpan serious. Because like the most anyone ever has to do for a streamer, like the most I'll ever ask of you guys, is if you can and have time, come in and watch. That's all I ask. That's because that's the extent of what if you think of it as an interaction, that's the most the interaction offers. I'm offering a content for you to watch on Twitch that is free. Like you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it at all. And the most that you ever have to do is follow, and that's still free. And even then, I still don't expect people to follow. I'm not saying they're like, if you're sitting in here, you have to follow me. And then anything beyond following is extra on your point. That's the tip, right? Like, so like you looked at my content and said, hey, he deserves this. So that's like, you guys are tipping me. Like anything above that is tipping me. So I'll never like, so like the fact that I was part of this community that was just like, you have to be there, you have to all the time, every day. Like I was like, that's a job, that's not enjoyable. I have I have other things to do. And the worst was like, if you don't like the person, because like if I didn't like that, like I would watch someone's streams like in the communities, like there's people on like True Gaming that like I've watched, and I'm like, nothing against them, I just don't like the games they're playing. The games they're playing, or how they like, how they stream. I just don't like watching that stuff. But, like, And so like, you know, I try to, you know, I still show them support because I'm like they're part of the, and like I'm sure they're great people, but I just can't watch, you know. Shooting, I try to be in a lot of people's streams, but it's hard to do, especially when you have a lot of people you follow. Well, that too, like, I do follow a lot of people. Okay, I don't like a lot of people. I mean, that's fair. I know you don't. I'm very humbled and honored that I'm one of the few people you like. But you know, like, it's, I don't know, like, I mean, like, with like, if you have the mentality of Twitch is, I need to make money on Twitch, it 9 times out of 10 is gonna backfire on you. You know, because, you know, like, people could tell when you have that personality. People could tell when you're like, you know, like, at top of the hour, you're like, hey guys, don't forget to hit that follow and subscribe button if you can. It's like, don't talk about it. Don't talk about that there's a subscribe button on Twitch. Don't talk about that there's an option to give bits or that you have a donation button. You don't talk, that's like, that's like rule number 1 is you don't talk about that. That's like, you know, it's a fight club. You don't talk about that. Rule number 1, you don't talk about subscribing and or giving money. Don't talk about it. Shooting, I kind of stumbled into a community and I've followed quite a few from this community. Yeah, me and Kay were talking about like a lot of people's followers are from like we're stemming from one community and reaching out, and I love it. I love that we're all like getting together and being big friends. It's great. Okay, not that I'm judging, more that if your personality butts heads with mine, it won't work out, and I leave so I don't hurt feelings. That's true. I mean, that's a good way to do it. Help me. Where was I? What was I talking about? Wow, this is, you could probably see the smoke coming out of my brain. Just trying to, like, just really trying to process where I was just, community things. Okay. So, like, we're talking about community, we're talking about, alright, well, okay, I don't think that's what I don't think okay, actually, I don't know why that helped me remember where I was, but you know what? You got through to me. So we're talking about, like, mentality. I got it. That's right. That's true. That's true, shooting. They're always right. So we're talking about mentality. We're talking about if you're coming into this with the mentality of getting money on Twitch, it's going to fail. Thanks, Kay. And, you know, you're going to fail. So, like, you know, and people can tell when you're having this mentality of, like, don't, you know, when you have this mentality of, like, do you need to subscribe to me? Even if you don't say you need to subscribe to me, but you're, like, at the top of the hour, you're like, hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button or cheer bits if you like the, you know, like, I've seen people who do that, and I'm like, that's an immediate turn off for me. Because, like, they're saying, because, like, they're maybe phrasing it like, oh, feel free if you like the content. But in reality, it's, hey, you should be doing this. You know. And for some people it works. Some people are just charismatic, and some people just, you know, it works. But for most of it doesn't work. Because there's plenty of videos out there of, like, Twitch streamers who are like, why aren't you guys subscribing to me? And like, in all seriousness, and they're like, why aren't you guys subscribing to me? You should be subscribing to me. You don't have like 5, and it's like, no, because if most of my community is like me, it's actually really hard to just give up $5 for streaming for someone else, you know. And so I would never expect that of you guys, and I would never expect that for anyone. And like I said, even following is like the most you have to do. So the mentality you have to have on Twitch is that this is a hobby, that this is something you're doing for fun, that you're meeting people. I feel like that's the mentality you have to have. That's the mentality I have. That's the mentality I've had since day one, was that this is to meet people. This is to meet people. This is to hang out with people who like the same games as I do. This is just to chill. And it's always been. And that's how it's always going to be. It's just like, I just want to hang out with you guys. You know, if you give me money, that's fantastic. And I'll feel very humbled and honored that you gave me money. But like, you don't have to. Because like, the whole point is like, think of all the people that are in this community. Network, hello, welcome back. I was just talking about like mentality to streaming, and like how people have, a lot of times there's the wrong mentality for streaming, and that shooting is a hot it is a hot topic. Shooting, like the thing, like he says, you like the content, the most you have to do is follow. Exactly. I just want to draw stuff, and you draw stuff really well. Okay, so yeah, network, I guess here's my here's my take on it. You have to have, like, I've since day one, the mentality is no, that was not the topic. Shooting, that was not the topic. Incorrect. But my mentality is that I'm here, this is a hobby, I'm here to hang out with you guys, I'm here to meet people, interact with people that like the same games as I do, and anything else is just gravy. You know, like it's like, if you like, I'll get to that in a sec too, because I would agree with that too as well, network. But like, you know, like for me, like, this was, if Twitch does become successful for me, that's great. You know, if Twitch does become, that's fantastic, great, cool. But that's not the goal. The goal is just to build a community for me, to hang out with you guys and build a community that isn't like breeding hatred, you know. I want a community that's just like awesome, hangs out with people, and like hangs out on other streamers' channels, and you know, it's starting to do that, which is great. So, you know, but like, I'll never, and like I said, like the other part is, I'll never expect you to do anything beyond following. Even following, I don't expect you to do. Because the most on Twitch that you have to do for anyone is give them a follow. That's the extent of what you have to do. No one has to donate and support with money, but I do want it. I wish I did not need it. That's also fair. I mean, that's still a good mentality to have. Like, no one has to do it. Yeah, I'd like it, but no one has to do it. And because it's basically, my point is, as long as you're not like those people that, because like there's videos on there, you know, we've all seen them on social media, of people just going absolutely nuts and going berserk on like, but why aren't you guys subscribing to me? The second if anyone says that in full earnest and honesty, and they just say, why aren't you guys subscribing to me on Twitch, I've like, run, like, unfollow and run. Like, I'm dead serious. That's not the mentality to have. But like, I understand that you want Twitch to be your job, like your profession, or whatever you want to call it. But that's not the way, Chief. That's not how you do it. Yeah, exactly. Like, and it is a lot of work, and that's the other thing, is that it is a lot of work to stream. There's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't see, You know, the setup, the, you know, your scheduling. The schedule is the biggest thing. You know, your rooms, you know, how you want your setup to go. You know, how are you gonna game? What do you want your content to be? You know, who do you want there? What, you know, like, there's a lot of things that goes on. You know, it's not just go live. You know, like a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of money in like it's an investment. It is a business. At the end of the day, Twitch is a business. Like at the very fundamental core, like very basic fundamental core, when you hit affiliate, Twitch, even if it's a hobby, Twitch is still a technical. You are still running a technical business, because you get a 1099 when tax comes. You get a, you know, Twitch is like, what is your corporation name or LLC name or whatever. That's what Twitch is asking you. So that right there, it's a business. Even if it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it for me, but it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. I'm selling something. But I don't want that to be what I'm selling. What I'm selling isn't, it depends what it, so like you're selling something because it is a business, but it depends on what you're selling, how you're selling it. I'm selling a community. And, you know, some people may be selling themselves. Some people may be selling something else. You know, like, it all depends. Like, at the end of the day, exactly, you have a product. Exactly. But I do have a product, fast food, football, and yeah, exactly. Like, you know, like, it's okay. Like, I'm not saying it's not okay to mention like a sub goal, or like, you know, like you know, I'm not saying it's not okay to mention subs every once in a while. You know, you have to, like, especially like I said, if this wants to be a thing. But I'm just saying, like, it can't be the only thing you talk about. It can't be like top of the hour kind of a thing. It can't be like, you know, it just, everything has to be within reason, I guess. That was ultimately what I'm trying to say. You know, not good at, yeah. I mean, like, it's hard. It's hard to ask for that stuff without, you know, there's a whole kind of like, exactly. That's exactly it. There's pride. Like, there's a whole bunch of like, I sell art and BS. Yes, you do. You do, and you do that very well, okay? The BS especially. Love you. I love you, Kay. I love you, Kay. Yeah, like, I totally understand where you're coming from. It's really hard to just, like, I don't, like, when I see, like, you know, like, I think it's way more, I think you have a way more success if you just have, like, a sub goal. Don't make me pull out the, you would pull it out whether you had a reason or not. Don't even come at me with that. So like, it's even worse because I'm a huge, and all my connections know it. So it's nice in a way. It's not a one. No, yeah, and that's the huge thing. It's like, you know, like, this is like, it's good to have people, you know, who do, you know, who support you and who support back. You know, that's really good to have, because like, I love, cause like, I'm a supporter too, and like, my big, like, I love seeing, cause like I said, I don't expect anyone to do it, but I love subscribing to people and seeing and seeing their face light up, and seeing them and like seeing like my favorite thing is just like when I subscribe to someone and they're like, like, and it's just like, yay, yay, now we're when you okay, so shooting the art of the dog is $100. That art piece was $100. Damn, I mean that's definitely worth $100. I'd say so. When you see the cringe videos from streamers, you can tell they give nothing back. Exactly, that's exactly it. I buy my folks games from time to time randomly. See, and that's the thing. It's like you can tell. You can tell what kind of streamer someone is. I've always said like you can tell what kind of streamer someone is, like by the longer you hang out. Like you can like it doesn't take long. I mean, there's a reason why the average view length for a lot of streamers is like 5 minutes. Because and that's like the average on which someone says or can take and know like it takes 5 minutes for someone to know whether or not you like them or not. Because like there's been a lot of times because like that's a huge skill that you should have if you're going to be in the streaming business is reading other streamers. Because like say pets are a real black hole. That's what I've heard. Pets are a real black hole. I can't have a pet. The closest thing to a pet I have right now is Sam the squirrel. Okay, I know I'm thriving on dog vanity in real life and I mean, go for it. Your art is really good, and you definitely should go for it. And I'm pushing you to go for it, and I want you to go for it. Go for it. I have gotten better at reading over time, and you off the top of your... I don't know, my cats are great. Cats are great, too, actually. And dude, same back at you. The second I saw you were, like, a chill guy, and you like sports, I was like, my guy. My kind of, and you weren't the kind of football fan that's like, what, you don't cheer for my team? How dare you? I'm like, I live in Minnesota, you live in Los Angeles. It's okay for you to, or you don't live in Los Angeles. Where do you? Fuck. I think you're. And where are you from? I know you told me. Close. Oakland. Yeah, you are from. Okay. Duh. Because okay. That's where the. Now that you said it, I'm like, okay, that's obvious. Cats are great. Dude, I know cats. Kyle and I are searching for the best kitten. Yeah, you're a Raiders fan. Yeah, exactly. Raiders, exactly. Although technically not anymore, but we won't get into that. Are you following the Raiders? You going to? I'm not saying are you moving to Las Vegas. I'm just saying are you staying with the Raiders? I planned to move there 8 years ago. Oh damn. 10-year plan. Hey, you knew 8 years ago. You knew 8 years ago that they would move to Las Vegas. And so you're like, I gotta get on that. My old boss is a Raiders fan. Oh, nice. Well, house is ours after. Oh, nice. So, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the Twitch talk. I mean, we got it. We'll be moving someday. Yeah, I mean, you'll get there. That stadium, by the way, for the Raiders, that new stadium, looks insane. Like, the new stadium, both for LA, for their two teams, and Las Vegas, looks amazing. And it's kind of sad because it was really nice being having the most modern and cool looking stadium in Minnesota. But I mean, that's just the nature of the sports. That's just the nature of sports biz. You're only the crown jewel for so long before someone else comes out and is like, hey, look at this new fancy thing. Pat Stadium will be next. Are they updating it? Are they building a new Gillette Stadium, or are they just updating Gillette Stadium? Also, are there any Patriots fans left now that Tom Brady left? That was the biggest thing, because I knew a lot of Patriots fans. Surprisingly, there's a lot in Minnesota. Who knows? That's like a lot of my fans are. I was like, now I get to see. Are you a Patriots fan because you're a Patriots fan? Or are you a Patriots fan because of Tom Brady, and in which case you become a Buccaneers fan? Finally, we had some news on Minnesota teams for a while. Sorry, I'm on mobile pretty far. No, you're good. You're good, Kay. What news are you referring to on Minnesota? But like, the only reason I'm cheering for the Bucks isn't even because of Tom. It's definitely not because of Tom Brady. It's actually because there's two Minnesota Golden Gopher players that got drafted to the Buccaneers. So I'm like, it's just more of like a low-key thing of like, hey, they're on the, yeah. But they're two players that I wish the Vikings would have drafted. With the new stadium, people actually knew who we were. Right, yeah, like, especially when like the Super Bowl came. People were like, oh wow, Minnesota's, like, I read like a lot of comments after that Super Bowl that was in Minnesota. And a lot of people were like, oh wow, Minnesota's really nice. This is cool. And then like, and then that was it. And then that's as high as Minnesota ever is gonna get again. Until we build a new stadium. That's pretty much it. I think they're done with having Super Bowls in the North, though. I'm pretty sure it's going to just be permanently. I think they even said that they're going to, barring a new stadium, they're going to keep it in the southern states. Because even though like Minnesota was domed, there was still like a lot of snow, and people were just not about it. Shooting Mancoon Kitty and Singapore Kitty, the one of the biggest cat breeds on the smallest cat breeds. We're looking at Mancoon. I have a Mancoon, and I can tell you right now, they're awesome. They're so fluffy. Yeah, I really hope the football season happens. Like, I just want there to be football. Dude, I don't, like, not having sports is the most, like it just sucks. Like, I'm a huge sports fan, and like, I'm not saying there should be sports. I'm not saying it was the wrong call. You know, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I really, really miss sports. You know, like, it was just something to chill out to and like have on for a few hours. So it got so bad on having no sports that I actually did watch the draft. And I don't normally watch the NFL draft because it's, in my mind, the most boring thing on the earth. But I was like, sports, give it to me. Mancoon is the biggest domestic cat. The biggest domestic you can get without a license. A lynx is the biggest that will still consider a cat. Shooting. I like how everyone was talking about sports, and I come in with the animals. I mean, that's fair. Excuse to come over to my house and use my bit. Yeah. Yeah, but you. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue with that one. I'll just come over and be like, "Are you doing anything today?" No. Cool. Can I come over and watch football on your TV? Yeah. What? I only have my big TV for parties. I mean, like, I have like a decent sized. It's big. Like, see, mine is like comfortably big. Like, it's like the TV is like comfortably sized. Like, it's big enough for sports. Yeah. Okay. It's like the right size. You know, like it's not absurd of the size of a TV. It's respectable. It's big. It's not like the tiny 32 inches, but it's just like it's a decent sized TV. Then you go to Kay's house, and it's just this behemoth. Feels like what is it, like an 80-inch or something like that? Some stupid number. I'm not complaining in any ways, because like I like them, but like if you put that same TV in where I live right now, like it would take up like the whole freaking wall, and it wouldn't because like it's not far enough back. Yours is 75. Okay, it's not. My room isn't big enough for the TV in the sense that like even if the couch is all the way back, you still wouldn't be able to like see the whole room. Because I live in a small, like all the rooms are, like the bedrooms aren't small, but like the living room is kind of small for a living room. BRB, okay. So you know, it's just compressed, you know. So like it's not big enough for a semi. I got 70 inch for the living room since it's big. 140 for a computer setup, 332s for my other, and a 55 for a bedroom TV. I got too many. That's never too many TVs. Never too many. I don't like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like using TVs because I know some people like using TVs as computer monitors. I don't like that idea because like I feel like, because TV monitors aren't meant to be computer monitors. So like the pixelation is off. So when you have it, it's like stretched. Or at least that's what I hear. Unless you get like one of those dual, unless it's I don't know if they make specifically ones that are dual. But like, I don't know. Plus I personally don't think computer monitors should be bigger than like 32 inches. I only did it because it was so cheap, and you can set it up. If you set it up right, it looks okay. Here, I thought my parents knew 60 inch was big. Also, on one of my parents' TVs, they have a 55. Just take the 55. Just be modest. Take the 55. I've had a 55 inch for like 4 years. It's an LED. It's not like the smart TVs, but it's still nice. Still, you know, still nice, still good. But plus, like, my desk isn't big enough to have like a big monitor. Like the monitor I have right now, it's like a 23 inch. So I have my Yeah, 55 is perfect. 55 is like the perfect TV. So I have like a 23 incher, like over here. This is the monitor where my hand is that I'm looking at right now is the 23 inch. And then I have my laptop that's over here. My laptop I think is 15. I think my laptop's 15. Because it's big enough to have like a number pad, but it's not like a 7. I know the 17 inches are big. Is this a 17? I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think it's a 15. Alan, shouldn't you know the size, your computer dimensions? You bought it. Listen, I bought it like a year ago. Okay, I don't want to hear it. You expect me to remember things from a year ago? That's crazy. That's blasphemy. I have 30 some odd ones. Flat screen or smart TV or anything special. But it's a TV. I used to have one of those. I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to have one of those. The 40-inch monitor is a lot if you do more than one screen, but 32 is great if you have the space for it. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you wanted to run one, like, I mean, I don't think a 32 would be too bad, especially if you like, because I still wouldn't use it for gaming because it might be, I don't know, it might be good for gaming. I don't know. I don't know what I would use it for. I guess it could be good. But I don't have the desk space for it because, like, I literally have like I was trying to say, the monitor that I'm looking at, I have literally tucked in the corner of my desk. Like, literally in the corner of that's like right here. And it's like half hanging off and then I have like my laptop here, and then my mic arm is over here, obviously. So, like, there's a reason why I'm getting a new desk. I don't have room. I need a bigger desk. And with a bigger desk may come a third monitor. We've yet to see. I don't think I need one. I want one, but with my laptop, I don't have another HDMI port. And I don't want to have to buy another, like, an HDMI, like, house and then run it, and I don't know. I have a third and I basically never use. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I don't, like, people say like a third monitor is super nice, but I'm like, what? The only thing I'd use it for, the only thing I have found a reason to use it for is for, it would be for chat. That's probably the only reason I'd have it. And even then I won't need it because, like, the way I have it set up right now is I have Twitch on my Twitch stream manager on one side that has the chat and it has all the notifications, like the activity feed of, like, when you guys use your channel points and stuff like that. And then I have my Streamlabs open because I need to see how things are looking. I just like to see how things are looking. So I have both those open, and then I have my monitor here, and this monitor here is what I use for gaming. So I don't need a third one. Like the most I would use for the third one is, like, if I wanted to have, like, a separate, like, I could see uses for it, but it's not, like, important uses. Like, the only reason I'd have a third one is if I wanted to have, like Google open to, like, do some, like, Google searches while I'm live, or if I want to put my Discord up there so I can, like, see Discord chats and stuff. But, like, that would just be more distracting, I think. I only have a pic of my old setup with my 40 if you want to see it. If you want to. I think you're in the Discord. You can put it. And do I have a pictures? I do have it. I think I have a PC. Yeah, I do have a PC, and there's a lot of setups posted in there. The fact that you could have more than one monitor hooked up to a computer for the longest time, that's how people could be playing a game but doing something else at the same time. I mean, to be fair, I didn't know that either. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't know that either. That was your setup? That's a pretty nice setup. That's like that's pretty nice. Now I got my 332s. When I clean it, I'll take another. Okay. I mean, that's like. Why don't you don't want to look at? Why don't you want to look at it? Jealousy? So. The hell am I? I've kind of like just got lost in the. Wow. This is longer than I thought it'd be. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, because like. I thought it would just last an hour. We got into some good topics, so that's good. But I think I will end it here. So tomorrow will be episode 2, because I work 12 to 5 tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Thursday we'll be back to my normal gaming stuff in the morning, and then Friday we'll be back with episode 3. And I think this is just going to work. I do think. I'll message you on Discord and get your thoughts. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. And we'll go from there. Like I said, worst case scenario, if I try this out for a month or 2 and it doesn't work out, oh well, at least I tried, right? So let's take a look gander here. Yeah, no one's really online. Okay. Well, is anyone on any of the Legion guys online? Nope. Okay. Yep. Kind of figured. Alright, guys. I'll see you later. I'll see you definitely tonight. I'll be back with more gaming stuff tonight. Probably more Minecraft unless I get multiplayer stuff, so we'll see. Bye.